Hey everybody. So I just finished this tuffpad. This is the first one with the new HDMI changes. And that's mostly what I want to show. Before I do that, check out this this dark green plastic that this customer asked for. It's the first time I've used this sort of plastic before. It's still PETG, so all the same strength and temperature resistance properties, but the manufacturer who makes this particular plastic, they have a dark range, like dark blue, dark green. There's some other colors. There's like a silver color instead of gray that has this I don't know what else to call it, but like a shimmer effect going on. Like there are 3D printer filaments that they put like glitter or glitter type stuff in. I think they might do something like that with this, even though they don't advertise it that way. But it certainly is darker than their normal green color. But it's also, they've put some sort of particulate or something in with the plastic. And one, it cuts down on just the sheer absurd glossiness that virgin PETG has. Regular PETG is super glossy and shiny. This still has some of that going on. It's not quite as matte as like a carbon fiber PETG, but whatever they've put in it, I think this looks fabulous. Like this is just, I'm gonna try to talk people into this sort of color as much as I can, just because of how good it comes out. Anyways, I think his color choices were great. The black on the green, this is super cosmetic, really cool. So yeah, the HDMI change. You know, here used to be this big fat Cat 5 RJ45 Keystone jack, which is fine and it works, but it's only 8 wires. It's only 8 conductors, so I was limited. HDMI has 19 or 20 conductors, so there's a lot more freedom for me to expand these in the future. And also, I get to build my own cables, so this is my first go at this. I picked a black cable wrap and black heat shrink tubing. So this is a custom cable. That's the custom length. And it also, let me get one thing. These are the Joy-Con stick breakout boards. These through holes are super small. Soldering RJ45 or Cat 5 twisted pair wires to this was barely doable. It was, I dreaded it. Like, it was easily the most tedious, error-prone part of doing a tuffpad build was soldering Cat 5e twisted pair wires to these tiny through holes. And I'm doing mostly Joy-Con builds these days. So I have to live with these breakout boards because all Joy-Cons have these ribbon cables, these zero insertion force ribbon cables that you can't solder to those cables. So you have to have a breakout board with an SMD connector that goes to these boards. And this is like AWG 30 wire. So this part was a piece of cake. Anyways, custom cable, HDMI male on one end. The HDMI female is embedded inside of the device. On this end, I get bare AWG 28, AWG 30 wires. It's super easy to manage. I also redesigned, let me show this off. That's very close. I redesigned this side piece. It's a little bit bigger, not crazy bigger, but a little bit bigger. And what it does is it lets me orient the stick this way so that this cable can come out flat and go straight and there's no bends. My first iteration of this, which I built a few of, it's what mine is. It's fine, but the stick is twisted up and this cable loops like underneath. And so there's a bend in the cable. I've not had any failures yet, so I think it's fine. But this is an improvement in terms of longevity, but it's also an improvement in terms of just how easy it is to put these together. So those are the big changes here. don't think there's any other changes really. The HDMI stuff was the biggest, as well as the refactoring of this. And I also just really wanted to show off how good this plastic looks, because I think this plastic looks fabulous. You know, 3D printing is always going to be 3D printing. There's always going to be layer lines. You're never going to escape that with this fabrication process. But as the technology improves, the materials improve, the printing profiles improve, you can just get better and better and better results. That's going to bother the crap out of me. Anyways. Yeah. Oh! Obviously, you know, I almost forgot about this. These go on like that so you don't see the guts of it. And I've not adjusted this for the hand yet. I think you know, there's an adjustment screw here for this whole thing so that it can tilt back. I'm going to tilt it back, I think, and maybe bring this out. Yeah. And I think I showed this somewhat recently, but just in case I didn't, I made a design change. Historically, I use stick-on feet. Now I've got these screw-in TPU feet, and I adjusted the height of this side module arm with this spacer. So now the whole thing sits lower down by however thick this spacer is, which is a 7 millimeters, I believe. So not only is the stick smaller with a shorter throw, but it also sits farther down. So you're not, the previous versions kind of had your thumb more like up and out like this. Not a ton, because, you know, 7 millimeters is not that much room, but it's something. It's not nothing. So now your thumb's much more closer in, at least for my hand size. And obviously, you know, if you get one of these, you can adjust the arm, swivel this way. You know, you can move it up and down these posts to bring it front or back. This you can tilt back or forward a good bit, and then also, you know, this you can loosen this, and this whole wrist pad can slide out or in. So I'm still maintaining, what's that, like 6 or 7 points of adjustment. And if you prefer this higher, I ship these. You can unscrew this, take that spacer out, and you know, I give you extra feet that you can put here and here and here instead of the spacer, and this whole thing will just sit, you know, 7 millimeters higher. So all that. I'm gonna do a little bit of software update testing on this and ship this out, but otherwise this is good to go, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. So there's like no hot glue here. In fact, the only hot glue in this entire device is for strain relief. That's the only time I'm using hot glue these days. I'm not doing it to mechanically hold anything down. You know, so strain relief in here. There's strain relief inside the body under this PCB for the different ribbon cables and wiring. You know, you should never have to take this off, but if you do, you know, there's hot glue in there to keep wires from moving around. So you know, I'm going for longevity and robustness on these devices. All right, I'll stop rambling. Keep it under 10 minutes. I really just wanted to show off the HDMI changes. Yeah. Tell me what you think. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.